McKay Coppins has written a book. McKay Coppins is a BuzzFeed writer, and the new book out is titled. It came out today, and is titled "The Wilderness: Deep Inside the Republican Party's Combative, Contentious, Chaotic Quest to Take Back the White House." And in the book, they talk about how Marco Rubio has a, quote, zipper problem. Now, what has happened is, in other words, infidelity. He can't keep it in his pants. And there are no specific reports. There are no specific women named. There are no specific times or places. It's almost like, hey, young, good-looking guy, he must be getting it on, right? Who knows? But it's in the book. And because it's in the book, it went into the press. This is a real significant change over the course of American history in my lifetime that I find just absolutely fascinating. I mean, Jack Kennedy was having affairs, the way other people like have, variety in their sandwich meats or something. The Secret Service knew about it, the press knew about it, everybody knew about it, Jackie knew about it, everybody just ignored it because, that was 1960. And everybody kind of ignored it in the United States the way the French sort of celebrated it. I think it was at Mitterrand's funeral. It might have been the guy before him. I can't keep my French prime ministers and presidents straight, but one of the French prime ministers was having a funeral. It was his funeral, and his successor was standing by the grave. This is a picture. It was on the front page of the French newspapers. It was all over the United States. The current French prime minister or president, and again, this was like 25 years ago, something like that, was standing there, and in his right hand he was holding his wife's hand, and in his left hand he was holding his mistress's hand, as he was looking at the body being lowered into the ground. It's like, the rest of the world is like, yeah, we don't care. And here in the United States, it was like, we're pretending it doesn't happen. Because, we've still got that kind of Anglo-Saxon Victorian sex paranoia thing going. So, when Gary Hart got busted, the hit on him was that the Washington Post, I believe it was, actually went and confronted him with the charge. And he said, nah, you can't catch me, or words to that effect. And that then became news, and that introduced it into the news cycle. And then came the picture of him and Donna Rice and on the boat monkey business, and, kind of went downhill from there. Gee, I wonder if they were in my marina. Oh, that's a whole nother thing. Anyhow, so then you get to Bill Clinton, and Monica Lewinsky, clearly was not the first, and but Hillary's willing to forgive and forget, or work it out, or negotiate terms, whatever may be the case. And a lot of Americans, this is what MoveOn.org was started for, was to say, hey, we don't care about Bill's sex life. And ironically, while Bill Clinton was being prosecuted by Republicans in the House of Representatives, virtually, I think with the exception of one member of the Republican leadership at that time in, 98? With the exception of one member in Republican leadership, all of them were having affairs. And Larry Flint ran this ad saying, I'll give a $1 million donation to anybody who can find a Republican prosecuting Clinton who is having an affair. And sure enough, somebody cashed in that $1 million and busted Bob Livingston, the senior Republican. They busted Newt Gingrich. He was having an affair with Calista, his current wife. While he was with his second wife, he would go out on the floor of the House of Representatives and rail about Bill Clinton being a pervert, and then he'd go back into his office and hop on Calista or whatever. Boy, just the picture in my mind of that. Never mind. We'll stop that. And Bob Barr was another one of the guys from the state of Georgia. I had met Bob Barr several times. I'd had drinks with him at Manny Malou's Tavern when I lived down in Atlanta. He was getting it on. And a lot of these Republicans lost their careers over this. Gingrich lost the speakership of the House. Livingston resigned. Bob Barr resigned, or at least was beaten in the next election. I don't remember which. It's been a while. And then came, a seeming change. Well, and then you had the former Attorney General of the state of New York on his way to being governor of New York. In fact, he was governor for a few months, wasn't he? Eliot Spitzer. And Governor Spitzer was getting it on with a hooker. He got busted, and so he just resigned. He just said, okay, that's it. Screw it. I'm out of here. David Vitter gets busted with a hooker a few months later or a year later. The D.C. Madam story. And he does a public confession, and he comes back into the United States Senate, gets a standing ovation by his fellow male Republicans in the Senate. Now, it was only the men, and it was only the Republicans, but still, he gets a standing ovation for admitting to having an affair with a hooker. It didn't go so well, though, when he came up against John Bel Edwards down in Louisiana. But anyhow, it's so now it's Marco Rubio's turn, apparently. And I just, I have to say, in some cases, it's so egregious that it really does betray a character flaw. I think John Edwards is an example of that. His wife dying of cancer while he's producing a baby with his new girlfriend. That was a little, not even a little, that was way over the top. But it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, this is the Republican Party. Where this goes. Okay, there's that. To watch more clips from our programs, hit the Watch More Videos button over here. And please be sure to hit the handy-dandy subscribe button so you'll always be up to date. Tag, you're it.